This is my second breakfast. This is banana, blueberry, carrots, almonds, coconut flakes, raw cacao powder, and I didn't have any rice milk or almond milk or been buying this stuff called Ripple, which is actually a plant-based milk, which is really good. So I had to use lactate today because that's the only milky substance we had left in the refrigerator. But I drink these a lot. It's really good. And this is my ginger tea. I've been drinking ginger tea since March 16th, like all day, every day. And I slice up my ginger and put it in my teapot. And this batch was so strong, last night it gave me heartburn. I had to water it down today. Perfect right now. So take a moment to close your eyes and we'll begin seated or lying down, whichever you prefer. If you're not showing your video, I'd love to see your face and watch you practice. So if you'd like to join in that way, that would be really great. The mind begin to settle. Those few tasks that you've been scurrying about and working on probably this week or over the last few days. Sometimes we can get mentally hooked on those things. I pulled an old Pook moped out of my shed from 1977. I hadn't ridden it since 1985 and thought that I would bring it back to life for the kids. So I've been spending a lot of mental energy on how I might get that thing going again and cleaning it and things. It's a fun project. Take a moment to feel into whatever fun project you have going on right now, that little thing that you're tinkering with or that you'd like to tinker with that you haven't got to or you're just beginning to get to now, or the thing that you've already done. Thing that allowed you to lose yourself in the excitement of whatever it was for the moment. Maybe it was cooking or cleaning or getting rid of old stuff from the shed or the attic or whatever it is. Maybe it's cleaning and reevaluating relationships and the nature of relationships. I sat in on an online satsang last Sunday with a woman by the name of Jack O'Keefe, who's a teacher of non-duality. And she said we can divide our sphere of people that we have relationships with into 3 groups. First group is people that we're intimate with, not intimate in a romantic or sexual way, but we have some degree of intimacy and honesty with, and we would have as many of those people in that group as we would need to have so that everything about us would be known, so that there are no secrets. So Maybe that's one or two people who know everything about you, or maybe you spread yourself out over a dozen or so people or more. The second group are people that you would maybe have a beer with, or have a laugh with, or go to a cookout with. And the third group of people are people that are part of your global community of spirit. However you see and be in the world, whatever your worldview is, you might have people that you've never even met who have the same mind as you about some things. Like maybe yoga, for instance, could be an example of that. So I had to ask the obvious question, what about the people that cause you stress and don't easily fit into one of the first three groups? And Jack said, well, those are the people we pray for, that they come into one of the three groups. So it was really useful for me to think about the amount of personal resources and energy that I spend trying to put people into one of those groups that I want them to be in, or that I want to be in with them. It was a really, really marvelous way to view relationship. Let's rock onto our back and draw the knees into the chest. Find a movement from side to side. Settle back to the center. Pause here for a moment. Find happy baby. Use your happy baby as an opportunity to find the ocean sounding breath. It's a great posture to allow the belly breath to take hold. Straighten your left leg out onto the floor. Extend the left arm overhead and let the energy of the breath begin to become your primary focus. Notice the sensation or a thought that distracts you from breathing. You don't have to do anything about it, just let it be there and breathe. Change sides, left foot comes into half happy baby, right leg and right arm reach and extend. Notice where you're holding on a little too tight and relaxed. Sometimes that's the jaw or the shoulders. We get stuck in wanting to make the pose what we think it should be. Or where we were the last time we did it. both feet to the floor. Cross your right foot in front of your left thigh. Arms out to the side in a T position. Roll onto the outside of your left hip so the sole of your right foot lands on the floor. Open your knee up towards the ceiling. Turn the head gently to the right. Expand your ribs and belly, fully breathing in, fully out. Good. Unhook your right foot from your left knee and drop your right knee on top of the left knee. You can place a fist in between your hand, in between your knees, or a block, or a blanket, or a bolster. Or you can use your left hand outside of your right knee to encourage the knees a little closer together without strain. You can extend the legs straight out to the side for a fuller expression. Back of the right shoulder is grounded. Palm faces the ceiling. Touch the floor with all of your fingers. Bend your knees again, stack them. Good, and release back to center. Cross your right foot in front of your left thigh, left knee. Interlace your fingers behind the back of your left thigh. If you have a couch or a wall nearby, you can use that. But even without your hands at all, you can draw your left knee towards your shoulder so you feel the opening in your right hip. The hands are there to stabilize, or you can bring your hands in front of your knee. Different expression of this is to straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling and find your big toe with your right thumb and forefinger and draw the right foot closer to the crease in your left leg. All optional. If you've straightened the left leg up, bend it down. Slide your right knee on top of your left knee so there's no space in between your knees. Right knee over the left, just like we were. And then reach down and grab the tops of your feet. Or you can interlace your fingers in front of the right knee, or the left knee, or the tops of your feet. Supta Gomukhasana. This is a variation of cow face pose, reclined cow face pose. The easiest one to access. Notice what it feels like to breathe and rock a little bit side to side, hip to hip. A little gentle rock. The hips need a lot of encouragement for most of us. Like, come on, you guys. I know you can do it. Give me your stagnant prana. Get some new blood and energy and oxygen in there. Good, and release. Feet to the floor, rest here. Good, prepare for the other side. Left foot on top of the right thigh, arms out to the side in the T position. Roll onto the outside of your right hip. You can play with the position of your right knee. Your right thigh could be perpendicular to your spine, or maybe not quite. Gentle turn to look right. On the outside of your right hip. That's it. Roll right so the sole of your left foot is on the ground. Can you be in this moment without resisting any of it? Some of us, the right side is tighter. For some of us, the left side is tighter. Some have a bad right hip. Some have a bad left hip. Some have bad both hips. But whatever you feel, just keep going. Space of no resistance. Stack your left knee on top of your right. Again, you can use a fist between your thighs or a block or a blanket. Left knee stacked on top of the right. The back of your left shoulder on the ground. Optional, straighten the legs out to the side. Breathe, relax, soften. Bend your knees again so that they're stacked once more. And as you rock back onto your back, the left foot comes up in front of your right thigh again. Draw your right knee towards your ribs and chest, the hands to stabilize the back of the thigh, the front of your shin, or straighten the right leg overhead. Breathe and move. Feel and notice what's happening. Embrace and allow whatever you feel to be there. When we want to change how the body feels, we can easily get tricked into trying too hard, forcing it. We're slackening the rubber band, we're unwinding the rubber band by letting go more. Drop your right foot to the floor, slide the left knee on top of the right. Hands can come up to your left knee to start, in front of your right knee, or find the tops of your feet. Relax your jaw, sides of your neck and throat, chest and shoulders. Good, release, lift your feet off the floor, bring the soles of your feet together. Find a way to hook your hands onto your shins or ankles, or make a little basket for the soles of your feet. Draw the inside of your ankles towards your pelvis and the heels down. Then relax your head on back down onto the floor. Press the soles of the feet, the balls of the feet, heels of the feet into each other, so the knees open up a little wider. Ocean sounding Dirga Ujjayi breath. Good, hands to the back of your knees, happy baby, or find the outside of your feet. Little wiggle of your hips and spine, and settle into your happy baby, soft and easy, relaxed breath. Drop your feet to the floor. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And create a pelvic rock. Inhale and arch your lumbar spine away from the floor. Sits bones stay grounded and don't move. Exhale, release your lower back to the floor. Draw your pelvis towards your chin. Move to the pace of your own breathing. If you feel the urge to hang out in any particular position, somewhere along the rocking continuum, feel free. You can also add movement to the pelvic rock. Creep the heels a little closer to your glutes. Keep the breath continuous, and as you exhale out, press into the soles of your feet so your sacrum begins to lift off. Inhale back into a pelvic tilt and exhale. Coming up into progressive version of bridge pose. Flowing bridge pose. After 4 or 5 of these, you'll find a version of bridge pose to sustain and walk your shoulders underneath your body. Press firmly into the soles of your feet. So if you're trying to slide the knees towards the front of the room, if you feel as if you can't do that, then experiment with the positioning of your feet so they feel like your quads are engaged, your shins are engaged. Find a version of bridge pose that works for you for 6 breaths. Open your chest. Exhale out through your mouth. Last exhale to slowly release. Hug your knees up in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers. Small rock from side to side. Settle back into the middle. Transition to table. Take your time. No hurry. From table, straighten your left leg out onto the floor, curl the toes under. The back of your left knee presses towards the ceiling, the heel presses away from your tailbone. Shift your weight forward towards your hands, lift the left leg up. And begin a big circulation of the left knee towards your left elbow, 3 in each direction. Go slow. How slow can you go? Both ways. Left leg reaches behind you again. Bend your left knee so the heel of your left foot comes back towards your glute. Reach back with your right hand and find the top of your left foot. Draw the left knee away from the floor. Press into your left hand, press your chest away from the floor. The knee and the chest. So press the undercarriage of your body, if you will, away from the floor. And shift your weight forward to your left hand. And press into your left hand, shift your weight back to your right knee. And notice how that feels in the front of your left quad. Again, release. Back to table. Straighten the right leg out onto the floor. Curl the toes under. Keep using the ocean-sounding exhalation to remind you to sink deeper and deeper into the breath. Lift the right leg up and begin to bend the knee, draw it towards your right elbow. 3 circles, one way, then the other. Enjoy the crunchies. If you have lots of crunchies, maybe a couple more circles. Straighten the right leg behind you again. Bend the right knee. Find the top of your right foot with your left hand. Press your undercarriage away from the floor. Press your right foot into the top of your left hand. Good, and release. Spread your palms and fingers wide. Walk the knees out wide. Big toes touch. Keep your chest lifted. We're not coming all the way down into child's pose. We're going to keep the chest lifted away from the floor. Then press your glutes back towards your heels, but lift your chest away from the floor. Straight arms. And slide gently as your body will allow, a little bit from side to side. If you've ever had any ankle stuff, it may be a little challenging to open the top of your foot. And now you can drop down onto your elbows, cross your wrists, drop your forehead onto the back of your wrists or to the floor. Think of your ribs as giant gills on a fish that are opening, expanding with your breath. Feel the movement. Good. Walk your hands towards the top of the mat. Your hips are still sitting back towards your heels. Press your elbows away from the floor, chest away from the floor, and then walk your hands back towards your knees. Walk the knees together. Sit back on your heels. You can use a blanket or a prop of any kind. If you have props and you use them, because this is a challenging position for many of us. So make sure you can put the blanket underneath your shins, or you can put the blanket on top of your calves, or you don't have to use a blanket at all. Let's take 6 breaths here. Lift the ribs up, lift the pelvis up towards your chin. Hands rest lightly on your lap, shoulders drop away from your ears, jaw relax. Practice paying attention to the breath amidst potentially strong sensation in the quads and the knees and ankles. Train your mind to stay with the breath. A little discomfort is okay as long as it's not extreme. You find the perfect balance between effort and surrender. Where any more effort would be too much and any less you wouldn't feel anything. This is a pretty wide riverbanks for all of us, but you have to find that balance. Good. Come forward and back into table again. Straighten the left leg behind you, curl the toes under. Switch sides. Straighten the right leg, curl the toes under. Good. Walk both knees back underneath you. Come up with your hands to your hips. Step your right foot forward. Left knee stays on the floor. So you might feel the need to support your left knee with a blanket or an extra mat. Sometimes the left toe is curled under here for balance, and sometimes the top of the foot is on the floor, so you choose. Lean forward so you feel a little opening in the front of your left hip flexor. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, tense your fingers. Fingers may drop straight down from the shoulders or squeeze your ribs towards your thighs so your Fingers are on either side of your right foot. And as you exhale, straighten your right leg. The fingers slide back wherever they need to, so you can straighten the right leg. They may come all the way back to the hips or sometimes up on blocks to straighten the right leg. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Lift the toes up and squeeze the top of your foot back towards your chest. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Hold here. 3 full breaths. Relaxed and soft, not hurried. Good. Inhale, bend into the right knee. Take the left foot off the floor. Reach back with your right hand and grab the top of your left foot and draw it in towards your left quad. You can keep the left hand on the floor or bring the left hand up to your right knee, or open the left hand around behind you and grab the top of your left foot with both hands. We've already opened the quads a little bit, so this should be a little more accessible than it would normally be. And you can shift your weight forward towards your right foot to deepen the opening in your quad, but move very slowly when you do this. The last step of this is to lift your left knee off the floor. Just kidding. Good, and release. Back onto both knees. Good, hands to your hips. Step your right foot forward and pulse forward. So you feel an opening in the front of your left hip flexor. Inhale the arms up overhead, look up, lift up. Exhale, tense your fingers, ribs to your right thigh. Take a breath in. Exhale the right leg straight. Inhale, bend. This time when you exhale, exhale all the air out of your body. Keep exhaling until it's all gone and you have to breathe in. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale the right leg straight and take 3 breaths here. The toes reach towards your shoulder. Top of your right foot reaches towards your chest. You may walk your fingertips towards the top of the mat and squeeze your ribs towards your right thigh. Or you may have your hands by your hips with your fingers on the tips of your fingers or on blocks. Leaning the spine out, up and over your right leg and toes. Good. Inhale, bend forward. Rest here for a moment to release the opening behind the back of your right hamstring and glute. And the left foot lifts up off the floor. Reach back with your right hand. Draw your left glute, your left foot towards your left glute. The left hand starts tented on the floor. Or you can bring your left hand up to your, or left elbow up to your right knee. Move slowly. Good, and reach around behind you if you wish with your left hand. Find the top of your left foot with both hands. Open your chest, draw your shoulder blades together, and then sink a little deeper into weight into your right foot. Shoulders drop down and away from your ears. One more breath here. As you exhale, everything releases towards the floor energetically. Good, and release back to table. Spread your palms and fingers nice and wide, curl your toes under, flip up to downward dog. 9-breath downward dog. Find stillness. Draw the belly in and up as you exhale. As you exhale from your 9th breath, draw back to child's pose. A resting child's pose. You can bend the elbows. Keep the knees wide to create room for your belly and ribs to slide in between your thighs. Slide forward onto your belly into puppy or sphinx, so your elbows are underneath your shoulders. Curl your toes under. Press your chest away from the floor so you feel a little squeeze on your kidneys. So you can choose to stay here, or spread your fingers wide underneath your shoulders, squeeze your elbows into your body and press your arms straight. Cobra variation, Bhujangasana. Toes stay curled under. 9 breaths here. Allow your body to relax as much as possible. Follow the breath. Lengthen the spine. As you get to 9, you can begin to slowly bend your elbows and come all the way down onto the floor. Reach your arms out in front of you. Release the tops of your feet into the floor. Superman. Nose, forehead, or chin on the floor. Lengthen your whole body. Keep your left arm extended out in front of you and roll onto your right side. Make sure your body is fully on the mat, but that your body is in alignment with the left side of your mat. So keep your body as straight as you can here. And lift the right leg up away from your left leg. If you have a belt at home, you can use a belt here. If you want a little more challenge with your balance, drop your right leg down to meet your left. Bend your right knee and find your big toe. And straighten your right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend your right knee to release. Stack your legs again. Connect to your core, second chakra. You can place your hand, tense your fingers on the floor, place your hands on your belly, or bring your hands to your right thigh. Keep both legs together like one, and then lift your ankles and calves and knees off the floor. Inhale the right arm straight up towards the ceiling. You can extend it and fly sideways. Create length and lift, a little higher, a little longer, a little higher, a little longer. 3 more breaths. Beautiful. Release onto your belly. Rest your forehead on your bent arms. Let your heels drop out to the sides of the mat. Big toes move towards each other. Rock your sacrum and your hips from side to side. Reach your right arm out in front. And roll over onto your right side. Your body's probably not as straight as you think it is, so keep checking. If you feel like you're going to tip over, then your body's probably a little straighter. Lift your left leg up. So lifting the left leg up, you can feel what that activates all the way up into your chest and armpit. Then release your left leg to the floor. So it's a little easier now that we've created a little muscle memory, or awoken the muscle memory, to bend the left knee, and with your belt or your fingertips grab your big toe and straighten your left leg up. And bend your knee, stack your legs. Inhale the left arm up as you lift the ankles and both legs away from the floor. Both legs together as one. Extend the arms overhead, fly sideways. Lengthen and lift, a little higher, a little higher. Three more breaths. Good, and release. Bend your arms, rest your forehead on top of your wrists or arms. Tops of your feet release and relax into the mat. Rock your sacrum from side to side if it feels right for you. Press yourself up slowly into a seated position. Find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes. Go back to your ocean sounding breath. Dirga Ujjaya. And as you begin to sink into that breath, whenever you do, feel seated in the breath. You can move to an alternate nostril breath by bringing the index finger and the middle finger into the palm of your right hand. Start with an inhalation through your left nostril. Keep the breath continuous. Exhale out through your right nostril. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Start another round by inhaling through your left nostril and continue at your own pace. Eyes closed, body relaxed. As you come around to the left nostril again, let the exhale from the left nostril be your last. Release your hands to your lap or your knees. And resume your normal breathing. Asatoma Sakamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. May this practice lead us from the unreal to the real. May it lead us from the darkness to the light. And may it lead us from death-bound, body-bound consciousness to the infinite, eternal, and whole beings that we all are. Namaste. All right, I'm coming to unmute.